I'm a fan of comic books. I don't read them much, but I still like them. In that my big exposure to them aren't really comic books themselves, having only read them in libraries, but rather the spin-off movies and cartoons. And if there's one thing they've taught me, is that if the bad guy isn't physically powerful or has no superpowers, then they'll instead be super smart and manipulative instead. Reality, however, has robbed me of that fantasy. Hypothetically, let's take a cat and put them in a tree. Now, a good person will try to save the cat because it's the right thing to do. A good smart person who is physically weak might try to phone the authorities, recognizing that they just put themselves in danger if they've try. Now, a bad person from a comic book who is smart might save the cat anyways if they believe it will enhance their reputation. Reality, however, has convinced me that a bad person in real life might yell at the owner and do nothing to help, or at least nothing practical to help. Really, it's infuriating. You don't have to be a morally good person to do the right thing. I think this is making me upset because some idiots out there on the internet in a political setting can't seem to understand the lesser of two evils and how supporting the lesser is better even if they're both evil. Now, don't get me wrong, if there was a third choice to support neither, I'd take it. But reality has shown us that without our support, then there's a larger chance that the greater of two evils will succeed. I keep hearing the dreaded words on how both sides are bad. They're not. We have records, news reports, literal video recordings. It's like saying being slapped and being shot are both bad because they're both about violence. Yes, they're both about violence, but if I'm given the choice, I'd prefer to be slapped over being shot any time of the day. I'm not arguing saying they're not violence. I'm saying one is literally worse than the other. And if you try to vote for being shot or don't vote at all, then being shot becomes the more likely option. Now let's just assume for the sake of argument that everyone's evil, that both sides are super evil. Okay, sure, I can believe that. Now let's compare evil villains. On one hand, I have one evil that wants to take all your money and doesn't care if you die because you didn't have enough money for, I don't know, some sort of life-saving medication. Okay, sure. On the other hand, I have an evil person who wants you to have this life-saving medication so you can stay alive and keep giving them money over a longer period of time. They're both evil, sure, but I think I know which evil I'd prefer if I had literally no other practical option. If the world had Lex Luthor who wanted to only help people to get rich and famous to stroke his ego, compared to Doomsday who literally wants to kill everything and everyone, I think I'd prefer Lex Luthor. But this is a reality where all our villains aren't even half as smart, and it freaking sucks. Am I being too vague? Okay, let's get a bit more specific. Let's get some real-life examples up in here, and I'll just be vague enough that you can come and draw your own conclusions. Thank you very much. One political party doesn't want gays or trans people to have rights, and the other does. For the sake of argument, let's assume they're both evil. One side doesn't want a group of people to have rights, as I explicitly stated, and assuming the other side is totally evil, it means they only want gays and trans to have rights to virtue signal? To destroy your way of life, maybe? Because people kissing and having rights destroys stuff. They want to give these people rights so that they're more likely to keep them in power when voting time comes? Okay, sure, why not? If they're evil and they're only doing good stuff to stay in power, then whatever, I don't care. Let them stay in power then. And if you're one of those people who say, hey, gay people kissing each other will turn my kids gay, well, I've got good news for them. If that's so easy to change your child's sexuality based on what they see, then I'm sure all those other movies where the good guy is a male and kisses another female who's very attractive, well, that happens in literally dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions of different movies. So I'm sure they'll go back to normal if that's your logic. It's really dumb logic, but that's how it works in your head, doesn't it? Otherwise, if it doesn't, then having two gay guys or two gay girls or whatever kiss each other wouldn't do anything. Now I know the ends don't always justify the means, but if the means don't actually hurt anyone, then who cares? The cat's stuck in the tree. I don't care if the person saving them is only doing it to look good on TV. I just want that bloody cat safe. Nobody in their right mind is going to try and stop the saving of a cat because of the motivations. Just let them save the damn cat. Both sides are not equal. Ah!